Hello and thank you for watching this Nerdio Accelerate video. In this video, Carl Long, a partner experience engineer here at Nerdio, is delivering content from the Everything Azure for MSPs August 2020 webinar. Carl presented how to check the availability of a WVD host in Azure. In this video, we will be discussing the prerequisites for checking host availability, followed by the resources and methods to perform that check. To get started, you'll need at least one active personal desktop or host pool, and then you will also need access to the Nerdio admin portal as well as PowerShell and the appropriate PowerShell modules for WVD. Thank you again for watching, and now we'll begin the segment from the August 2020 webinar.
So let's start with checking host availability in Azure. I want to preface this by reminding everyone that Microsoft is in full control of the gateway services that deliver users to their WVD desktops. If you're seeing issues with users not being able to connect to their desktop resources, we always highly recommend opening a support request with Microsoft directly. So what does this issue look like to the end user? Well, we've received some tickets from partners where the end user is receiving an error stating there are currently no resources available to connect to. So how do I troubleshoot this error is probably what you're asking. Well, first, let's use the Nerdio admin portal to confirm the user is assigned to the desktop and that they have the appropriate licensing to be on that desktop. And this can be done quickly via the Nerdio admin portal under the users module. Using Nerdio Trainer as the example, I can see that I have a valid M365 E3 license, which I know includes Win10 WVD seat licensing. I can also see that I'm assigned to Pool C. Now, using that same information, I can click on the Servers module in the NAP, click Manage Hosts next to Pool C, and I'll notice that no users are currently connected, down on the bottom right there. This may validate an actual host failure because no one seems to be able to access it. Now, if I had multiple hosts, I would want to review if other hosts are actively taking connections and try to narrow down the point of failure. On the next slide, I'll show how we can then further check that host status via PowerShell. So I've opened Windows PowerShell as an administrator. First, I'm going to run the command add-rds account space dash deployment URL, and then I'll input the RDS broker URL. This is going to allow me to initiate communication with the WVD broker services, again managed by Microsoft. You will be prompted to authenticate. Second, I'm going to run the command get-rds tenant. This will allow me to confirm my unique tenant name needed for the final command. So finally, I'm going to run get-rds session host space dash tenant name space the tenant name that we got above space dash host pool name and the name of the pool, which is Pool C in today's example. So two things to consider here. If I have multiple hosts in that pool, they will all be listed here. In our example today, we just have one host, so that's all we're going to see on the screen. Second, the important thing that I want to review here relative to our error is the host status. I can see that this status is available, which is great. If it was unavailable, I'm likely going to be experiencing the user relative errors that we've been discussing of no desktop resource available. It simply doesn't realize that that resource is there. It's no longer communicating with it via what is known as the heartbeat. So, assuming we actually have a status of unavailable, our current recommendation is to do the following. From the NAP, under servers, within that host pool, I'm going to add a new host, right? Why am I doing this? This is going to get another host online that should have a working heartbeat or available status. And then I'm going to take the host that isn't working and I can put it in deactivate status, which means it will no longer try to put connections there. And then I can simply delete it, or I can simply delete it altogether. The only reason you might consider deactivate is if you are, and we do recommend, opening a ticket with Microsoft and they may need to further review the host. Now let's take a moment and recap what we've discussed. The concern is that users may receive an error. There are currently no resources available to connect to. The resolution is the following. Check the host that user belongs to and its status in the Nerdio admin portal. Check that host's availability with PowerShell. Remedy by creating new hosts, but also consider opening a support request with Microsoft alongside that to better determine why this is occurring.